For the record, before I start, my next review is going to be Back to the Future. It's going to be one of Matthew's favorite movies. I'm still in the process of fixing a few problems that have cropped up on my computer and some of the hardware. I mean, technical problems have plagued this operation since the beginning, but I've had one right after the other, and so the review is coming a bit late, or at least a bit later than I was hoping. But I've been working so much on fixing the technical problems that I haven't even had time to sit down and organize my thoughts and write that review yet. So I apologize for the delay, but in the meantime, I thought I'd just sit down and give you my thoughts on this movie and this trailer, which people have been wanting me to say something about this for a while, and while we're waiting, I figured it would be a good opportunity for me to tell you how I feel. I've actually wanted to do more of these early thought videos for a good length of time, because it's fun for me to go back and see how right or wrong I am about these things. Iron Man 3 is coming out sooner than the things usually do when I do these early thought videos, but I thought I'd take a minute to go ahead and do this, because people are curious about my thoughts, considering I really didn't like Iron Man 2 very much, and will I be interested in seeing this or not? Absolutely, I'm interested in seeing this. I think even at a franchise's worst, there's always the possibility that they could go ahead and do a really great film next, especially since Iron Man 2 had, I think I'll be fair and say, a mixed critical and fan reaction. It seems to me like maybe they're trying to do something just a little bit better this time, or a little bit more meaningful, to sort of make up for the second one. I don't know. I suspect that might be the case, but I'm not sure. Maybe they thought Iron Man 2 was great and they have nothing to make up for. It did interest me that this movie is being released in April, whereas all the other Iron Man films have been released in May to sort of kick off the summer movie craze or whatever. This one's being released in April, and so it seems to me like they're kind of putting it in the safe slot, because they don't really know how people are going to receive another Iron Man movie, and maybe that has something to do with the fact of how Iron Man 2 was received. I don't know. But in any case, I've been keeping an eye on this production. Not really a close eye, but I have been looking into it every once in a while since Iron Man 3 has been announced that it was in the works, and then it was in pre-production, and then they were in the writing process. Still not a whole lot is known about what this movie is going to be about, and it's difficult to take a trailer's word for it. I don't really like reviewing the trailers. It's just about all I can review at this point, and like I said, people have really wanted me to talk about the new trailer. But trailers aren't really designed to tell you what the movie is going to be about. They're designed to make you want to see the movie. And oftentimes these two things can be very different. A trailer can lie to you. A trailer can mislead you about what a movie's going to be about. And this has happened numerous times. It also happened with the Iron Man 2 trailer. The Iron Man 2 trailer made it seem like that movie was going to be about something, and it wasn't. And so I do think that things in this trailer look encouraging, but I do want to stress that I thought that about Iron Man 2 as well, and I was completely wrong. So here are just my general thoughts. As I've said numerous times, I'm not a comic book guy. I really don't know very much about any of these guys or their backstories, and from what I've seen of a lot of the films of the Marvel people, I don't really care about their backstories. I don't think they're very interesting or very good. Iron Man is kind of an exception to that, just based on what I've seen. I wasn't interested in Captain America, I wasn't interested in Thor. Iron Man is actually kind of interesting, because it's a redemption story, and that's always a little more interesting to me than the underdog or whatever Thor was. But, so this had always had the potential to be a really good film franchise. I thought they did a good job with the first movie. I thought they completely dropped the ball in the second one. This one is kind of looking, just based on what I've seen so far, it's kind of looking that it might be good. It looks like they're trying to tell a deeper, serious, more emotional story, hopefully without going too far and completely removing the humor, because that is one of the things that makes this film series work. I just think it was a little too much in the second one. Hopefully they'll strike that balance kind of like they did in the first movie. I don't know anything about the characters in the Iron Man comic books. So when I saw who the villain is going to be in this, it looks like he's got another Iron Man suit, which is interesting. But I don't know anything about that, and I didn't know who he is, and I actually had to Google him. And his name, I guess, is Aldrich Killian. Is that right? Am I saying that right? Based on what we all know of me and names, probably not. But I don't know. He seems like he might be a good villain. He seems like he is more of an intellectual, going after your life type of villain, and I think that's really interesting. And like I said, there's only so much that we can learn from the trailer, but the trailer made it seem interesting, and it seems like Tony Stark is really being challenged by this person. So if that's what's going to happen, then this trailer actually did a really good job of making me semi-excited about this. There has been one statement that I read a while back. I can't remember who said it. It was somebody involved in the writing process of this film, and they said that Iron Man 3 was going to focus on the question of whether or not Tony Stark's heroism has more to do with just the suit or how much of it has to do with him. That is something that I would love to see. It's kind of along the lines of what I thought Iron Man 2 was going to be, and if that question is really raised and addressed, and we have Tony doubting himself and really questioning this about himself, if that's what the villain is going after, if he's trying to make the point that Tony is nothing without the suit, and without the suit he's just this dumb guy with money, that is a really engaging subject, and it's something that is very, I think, compatible with the story that they're able to tell with this film series, and that's something that I'd be excited to see. I really hope, and the trailer makes it look like that's what this is going to be, and I really hope it is. Like I said, I had the same kinds of hopes with Iron Man 2 after I saw that trailer, and it turned out to be nothing of the sort, but I don't know. It seems to me like this movie is kind of trying to make up for the last one, and I'm saying that instinctively. I have no information to base that on, and the people who worked on Iron Man 2 might be offended by that statement because maybe they stand by the film. Maybe they, like I said, maybe they think there's nothing to make up for at all. I don't know. But it seems to me like maybe they listened to the criticism of that movie and maybe they used that to try and make a better one. That is what I'm hoping that this is going to be. And the fact that they're releasing it in April, maybe there's another reason for that, maybe a better one than I'm suspecting right now. But usually when something is released that early, when it has a big title like this, it's to kind of try and get their audience back without having to compete with the other summer movies that are coming up. And I don't know. It seems to me like they're trying to make a really genuine effort to make a good film, both on its own and in comparison to the last one. So there are some very encouraging things, because there was nothing in that trailer, there was nothing in this trailer that tried to show you how awesome this was going to be. It didn't really market it as a summer blockbuster, and the trailer for Iron Man 2 actually did do that. We see it opened with the big parade and everybody dancing around, and it kind of tried to show you the funny stuff as well as the serious stuff. This one, the trailer for this movie is leaning really hard on the serious stuff and the stuff that I hope they think is important. Because everything in the trailer made it seem like this was going to be a really important moment in Tony's life, and something that's going to make him question himself and rethink what he's doing and try to discover himself a little more. And I really hope this is the case. But the trailer and the early statements made by the people who are making this film are giving me reason to have hope. And the more I learn about this, the more I'm really excited to see it. The last thing I want to say is this. The biggest problem that I had with Iron Man 2, aside from the bad writing and the terrible ad-lib banter and the 10,000 villains that had nothing to do with the main villain who only pops up at the end, you've seen my review, I don't need to hash it out again. My biggest central problem with that film is that I didn't feel like Tony Stark was being challenged by anything, and I didn't feel like he was really questioning his life. I sincerely hope that this movie does both of those things. And that's all I want to say. My prediction is it will. My prediction is that this movie is going to be good, and it's going to deliver on everything that Iron Man 2 didn't deliver on. I think this is going to be the opposite of Iron Man 2. I think it's going to be the inversion of Iron Man 2, and I think I'm going to come back here in April and give you guys a review of Iron Man 3 that's going to be really stellar. That's my prediction, and I can't wait to see whether or not I'm right or wrong. So more of these early thought videos are probably going to come out because this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Especially Star Trek Into Darkness. As soon as we learn more about this, and maybe when the first trailer is released, I'll do an early thought video on that. And a couple more that are coming out this summer, particularly the new Hobbit movie. Hopefully I'll have something to say about that before December. So until then, I hope this was at least somewhat interesting, and we'll see if I'm right. See you later.